Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the Ignorance Equation. This is my Wednesday night music show, Musical Osmosis. I am your host, Nick, the Saucy One Castoris, and I am broadcasting to you live from the land of meth and honey out here in Cherryville, Tennessee. I also want to introduce my amazing, beautiful producer, the Vita Zapata, to my guest, Daniel Prizer. What's shaking, darling? Are you out there?
Hello, baby, I'm here.
Can't hear me. All right, well, here's what we're going to do. On Sunday nights, I have a political show. I want to start doing a music show every Wednesday, have some of the bands on that I grew up with that I really admire and I really dig. Going to kick some old school music, talk about the band, want to talk a little bit about politics too, because, you know, the kind of music that we played and listened to was very political, socially charged type music. So I think that's important to talk about. The next guest that I'm going to have on is going to be Gimmi. We're going to talk about music today. We're going to talk about his band, the projects he has going on now, Honor's Way, Udder Crap. I am hoping that Pat Sheehan from Udder's Crap will also call in too, because honestly, I defy anybody to find anybody who knows more about good music than Pat Sheehan. So anyways, I'm going to play a song to start off with by Honor's Way called Misery. It's my favorite song by him. I really dig the lyrics too. And then we're going to have Andy on the show, and you guys can call in. The call-in number here is 646-478-3554. And let's play some Misery by Honor's Way. Coming at you live here on the Ignorance Equation, Musical Osmosis.
Y'all ever want some man?
Sorry, guys. I don't know why I'm getting such distortion with that song. It sounds good. Sounds really good production-wise outside of what you just heard. There must be a technical difficulty with the studio here. Hopefully that won't happen on the next song. I've got some other crap and some more on his way coming up. But let's get Andy Gimmi on the phone. He's been holding for 8 minutes graciously. Give me 1 second. Let me pull him up. And, Andy, you are live, my friend.
Hey, what's going on, Nick?
Nothing, brother. I want to let you know that I fought temptation. I was going to introduce your band and then play some Cherry Pie by Warren just to fuck with people. So you'd be glad to know I took the high road and actually played your song.
Well, I mean, as long as it wasn't Tora Tora, we wouldn't cross any lines, really.
Tora Tora would have been sweet, especially since I'm down here in Tora Tora land in Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, it's, I think it's a law down there that they have to have a poster at every store.
You know, about 20 years ago, back in the 1850s, I was on a magazine crew, and I stopped at a liquor store in Memphis, and there was an old guy working the counter. Like, the guy was, like, gruesome, 70 years old. And behind him was a big picture of Tora Tora. And I was like, I said, who's in the Tora Tora in this store? Because I knew it couldn't be him. And he was like, that's my son's band. So, like, I met the dad from the guy from Tora Tora, and he owns a liquor store, which isn't impressive at all. But I thought it was funny. Anyways, let's talk on this way.
All right.
Why don't you give us some history of the band? I know your history, but just like last week, I want other people to hear that might be hearing you guys for the first time.
Well, it was just a couple friends. We ended up meeting up with each other down in Norfolk, Virginia Beach. The guitarist was Chris Lee. The drummer was David. I can't remember his last name. It's Robinson. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was Robinson.
Yeah, David. And then on bass, it was like a bunch of people. I mean, I think even you played a song, I'm pretty sure. So I know Rob sang it was once. I think Brad Kegg was one time. Yeah, we always had bassist problems and drummer problems. But Dave was pretty good. But he's only like 17, so, you know, when you're 17, you don't really know what you want to do. So, but he was a really good drummer, and Chris was a really talented guitarist. We played a few shows. And I guess it just didn't, you know. Me present in a personal phase, I guess I had some growing up to do, and the band just kind of went on its own way. But I think it all really kind of ended because it was just so hard to find a drummer. And, you know, everybody that you try out or whatever is just, they're not really serious or they don't care. So kind of lost a little bit of heart in it for a little while, but it was a lot of fun playing out, like that kind of stuff. But
how many shows did you guys play? About 5?
Yeah, I think something like that. No, I seriously doubt it was more than that. We played. And
I've got the demo, of course, with the 3 songs on it. How many songs total did you guys have?
I think we had about 8 or 9. Our set list, I think, was 10. But that was the one, You Are My Sunshine. That's not like, you know, an original song. That was just something we just had fun with. And the crowd liked it, but the original is probably about 9. But we only
and then the first 3 songs, the stuff you wrote afterwards, did it differ a lot from it? Were you guys going in a different direction, or were you pretty happy with the sound when you guys first started? Did you guys all come from different backgrounds musically?
Well, I actually, Chris was more of, you know, Pennywise, like that, you know, No Effects, like that kind of punk. Me growing up, I guess I was more into the harder punk, like GBH, that kind of stuff. And the metal, like I grew up listening to the older metal, like Dio and that kind of stuff. So, and Dave just basically had kind of a radio experience, you know, like he knew like Tool and stuff like that but he was accomplished as a band, I guess. I think he did like drums or something like that in high school, or something. But he was really good at it, you know. If I remember correctly, he could pretty much pick up any instrument and just play. And that was,
Yeah, Dave was talented.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty impressive for a 17-year-old. So, but I think we all had the same kind of direction, but most of them, almost all the music was written by Chris. As far as the lyrics was always written by me, but Chris was mainly the guy that put the compositions together. And I wrote one other song with the guitar part was when we could let Chris sing, which that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and did you guys get in any kind of conflicts as far as the direction of music went in? Did Chris carry you did all the lyrical writing? Did you carry you did all the musical writing?
No, I have to say, like, I always enjoyed our studio time, our practice time. We never really, as far as I can remember, I don't ever remember arguing about, hey, we should do this and that. I do remember, though, I think it was at that show we did at the, I don't remember what that old pizza joint was, remember? Where Steven played and, yeah, Kogan. And I do remember, like, at the end of one of the songs, like, I wanted him to do a blast beat real bad, and I kept saying, blast beat, but he wouldn't do it. That's the only time I think we ever got kind of like in an argument.
All right, so you guys get together. You're playing. You're starting to do some shows, get some traction. People are digging on you. You guys were getting a fan base from what I remember. And then all of a sudden, evaporated. What happened? Did you guys call it quits? Did you just stop talking to each other? Was it like, I'll catch you next week, and it just kept getting pushed back? Was everybody just too fucked up with their personal shit?
Well, I think it could be like some was personal, but I think I have to say the majority of it was the drummer. I still remember, like, Chris and we'd go over and practice over, the dude's house. We couldn't play drums or nothing like that, and we didn't have a drummer sometimes, and I mean, the main thing was the drummer, because it was just, we could never find one. I mean, we couldn't even find somebody that would want to play that, like, even kind of sucked. They'd be like, yeah, I suck, but, like a Lowell Ulrich or something. I suck, but I'll try it. It is like, so that's like a huge component in a band. I mean, yeah, you could do, I do studio stuff now, so you could do drum beats, like, on the machines and stuff, but it's not the same thing. So I have to say, a majority of it was over the fact that we couldn't find a drummer. And then, I guess, like I said, with myself, I had some growing up to do. So I was thinking, then, Dave, if I remember correctly, like, I think they had a baby, and he just kind of, like, disappeared, so.
All right, so we're talking, 12 years ago?
Yeah, probably that.
10 to 12 years ago, Virginia Beach, Norfolk. Even Steven is in its death throes. A lot of the bands that were actually starting to get some traction a couple years later, they're all breaking up. Was this a sign of where music was going at that time, where hardcore and punk and all that stuff was kind of being phased out for whatever kind of emo garbage and stuff and rave music that was coming in? Was it just that area? Was it we were just a bunch of fuck-ups? How do you see as the demise of our little music scene between Maryland and Virginia Beach?
Norfolk, in my opinion, had a great metal. I mean, from the metalheads that I met in Norfolk, it was okay, but I think that whole area, there wasn't a big metal scene. I think that was a problem. And there wasn't really, like, any good venues. Like, most of the places, that you'd play around there, would they pack? 30, maybe 60 people in, then you can't breathe. So, there wasn't even really good places to play. And they were always like... And
the good places were all bogged up. Like, I tried to get everybody a show at that club that the guy from the Candy Snatchers managed, and he was like a friggin' asshole to me. Hey, we've got our little scene here. Huh?
Was that Jewish Mother?
No. It was
pizza place.
Some pizza place on the boardwalk.
Yeah.
And, he worked there, and he wouldn't let us, he wouldn't even give us a chance. And then I booked something at the half show, and they actually canceled the show, and I didn't even find out till like 2 days prior. So, I mean, the people there, I love Virginia Beach. I love Virginia Beach more than anywhere I've ever lived. But I will have to give one thing to D.C. over the Virginia Beach, Norfolk area. The people in Norfolk, I've never met such unprofessional managers, booking agents, owners of clubs. They are the most unprofessional people I've ever worked with in my life in that area.
Yeah.
So I think that had a lot to do with the demise of the music, all the music like we were getting into. Even that haunted house we did a show at. I mean, everywhere we went and did shows, we had problems. And not because of the band, just because management was so fucked up.
Well, it's because, like, a lot of places when they open up a restaurant, they're figuring out, man, how can I make some extra money on Friday and Saturday? And, like, so they start to invite bands, and then, a lot of cover bands are expensive, actually. And so, they try and bring in some of these local so they get more customers. And then they're like, sometimes they'll get bands and they'll be like, holy crap. Like, I think it was at the Half Shell. There was a Construct was playing, and, they're not like death metal or anything. I don't know if you remember those guys, but
yeah, I remember.
We went to one of their shows. I dug them, man. They'd paint, and they had like a cello player and stuff. It was cool, but we played a couple shows with them, and we went to it. And I guess the Half Show, I never had bands like that, because the band that they were opening up for was like, I don't know, one of those like 80s glam style bands or whatever. And, sang Bon Jovi songs. So, like, Construct gets up there, and, like, they open up, and it's like, people, and then, like, the bartender's, like, jaw drops, and he's like, what the hell? They only let them play, like, 2 songs, and they cut them off. And so, I mean, that's...
Yeah, it's a bad area. I mean, the only good place we ever played in Virginia Beach, and it was the greatest place, it was one of my favorite places I've ever played at anywhere, was the Elbow Room. And the city kind of fucked those guys until they went out of business.
Yeah, that was
they were the only guys that treated their
bands
patio. Right. Yep, they were awesome.
Yeah, that was a great. I think I went and saw like FDA, and I don't remember. It was a long time ago. You guys, they played.
I think FDA played there. We played with FDA a couple times, and then they had a big show where they like played with Meat Jack and some other out of town hardcore bands.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool venue. You got to stand outside and that kind of stuff, but.
Drink your little pitchers, watch the cars pass.
I mean, what I'm saying is, like, like how hard it is to be like in a band, and you're just trying to make it and all that other stuff. It's incredibly disheartening to a lot of people. That's why I think a lot of people give up, because of musicians nowadays are just it's such a dime a dozen. Because I mean,
right.
So the quality of music's like definitely deteriorated. So, I don't know. There's more money in cover bands, dude.
I was hoping Pat Sheen would be on the show today. I think Danielle's going to try to get a hold of him. I can hear the phone ringing on this end. But I'm hoping that he'll be able to come on and talk, too. Right. I don't know why. Hello? Let me mute this. This is so unprofessional. You there?
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyways, why don't you tell us a little bit about Udder Crap?
Oh, I have to say, Udder Crap is probably easily the most funnest time I've ever had making music. It was, of course, Pat and Pickle did vocals, and I played drums on one track, or maybe 2 tracks, and Pickle played drums on all the, I guess, I don't remember even how many tracks there were. I think there's like maybe 5, I don't remember. But I know I played.
I think there's like 5 tracks that totaled about 6 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's what you get when you team up with Pat and Pickle. I mean, you're definitely gonna get some anal blast material. I think the one song is like the lyrics are like really like about I don't know like I don't remember. It's like dancing in the field with like butterflies and shit. But it sounds like the demons escaping from hell. It was a lot of fun, and we'd switch up. And I think Chris played guitar for a couple from my band, and then I played guitar for a couple. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Well, I'm going to play some other crap. Most of this stuff you guys just kind of made up as you went along, but it's actually really fucking good considering that, I mean, it was just kind of thrown together, everybody wasted in a studio, and we actually did this for Karen's album, which I think we did, 12 tracks, 4 bands,
Yeah.
3 songs apiece, 12 tracks.
Yeah.
And one day I'm going to play that, a bunch of stuff from that birthday compilation on the air. I was thinking about maybe Karen's birthday. I'll call her up and do that. But let me play some other
Robert's
crap.
got some good stuff.
Oh, yeah. I thought everything on it was cool. All right. We're going to play some other crap.
All right.
There we go. Utter crap. You still with me, Andy?
Yeah.
Now, remind me, that song was either about a political statement, saluting Mandela, and talking about apartheid, or it was about raping corpses. Which one was that again?
I believe it was about corn dogs.
Corn dogs. Nice.
I think
That's
it was
what I
about
thought.
corn dogs. I think he's screaming about pouring mustard on it. It's so delicious. I can't remember all the lyrics. But that was, Patrick's was screaming that elegantly, and Pickle was playing drums. I was on guitar, and I think Chris Lee was on bass. As a matter of fact, I think Rob played a couple tracks too on that, so as bass player.
Well, I just want to let you know this music's not copywritten, so I can't be responsible if Oscar Mayer steals it to use for advertising. So I hope you'll be okay with that.
Yeah, I could see it definitely as a car jingle.
Definitely. All right, so we got some more music coming up. If anybody wants to call in, the call-in number here is 646-478-3554. Calling in, talk to us. All right, so let's talk about music then, music today. I'm a crotchety old man, so I get to say this generation's music sucks. I'm not sure. Maybe you'll agree, maybe you won't. What do you think? Music back then, heart and soul, to the bone, concrete beneath your feet, 1 foot in the gutter, one fist in the gold, like Ricky Rackman used to say.
Yeah.
Music today, overproduced, like soulless, phoning it in, whining.
Well, I know some people don't agree with me when I've talked about this with people before, and I think it's actually over availability. I think that because people have such venues, so many more venues to plug their music, get their music out, that kind of stuff. I don't know, if you remember when you were younger, you go to shows, hardcore shows and that kind of stuff, there's just a bunch of poor kids, and there were some suburban kids, but there wasn't people that were, majority of stature, rich silver spoon trust fund kids. And
you had to have dedication. You had to hit the streets, hand those flyers out, call 1,000 people and hug the shit out of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there was a lot more, and people could be more selective, I guess would have to be the word. It could be more selective about who they listen to. Now you have so many services that you could pay for that, I mean, you could be a half-decent band and, you know, I mean, like a lot of people, like when people in the studio, they bring their kid in, they want auto-tune and all this other stuff. I always tell them, I say, if you want to make your kid a star, I said, it's going to cost you $20,000. And people are like, what do you mean 20? I said, yeah, it's easy. All you got to do is buy 20,000 of your own songs. It'll put your song on the very top of the iTunes list, blah, blah, blah. And you'll get so many suckers to buy it. So, I mean, it's easy. I mean, I know it's a lot of money, but, I mean, if you're somebody that has that, then you can do that. And I just think that, I don't know, I try real hard to listen to, like, some of the newer metal and some of the other stuff. And maybe I'm a crotchety old man, too, but, I just, it doesn't, like, feel like, you listen to the lyrics, and now there's, like, a gajillion genres of metal. I mean, it's like, I don't know, I saw this thing today, I guess it was on Metal Injection or one of those, about, like, there's this new band they're, like, promoting, it's called Party Metal. And so I was like, all right, let me check it out. Because, I'm at least trying. And, I mean, it was the most stupidest, asinine
Well, I'm more
shit
cynical than you. I gave up 5 years ago.
Well, I mean, I love music. I mean, that's something that, when I'm with my fellow metalheads in the retirement home, I'm sure that, we'll be blasting some Maiden. But again, I mean, that style and the way people make that kind of music that they did when we were teenagers, I mean, it's just no more. Like, metal, I mean, as far as, like, the greats like Dio and, like, I tried to listen to the new Sabbath album, and people were like, oh, it's the greatest thing on earth. It felt like it was made by a bunch of dudes that were 70 years old. I mean, like, when you listen to the old Sabbath and that, I mean, you can hear, like, they're angry. This one, they're just like,
Yeah, that's what Dee Snider said killed him. He was like, dude, I got rich, and I wasn't pissed off anymore. I had nothing to sing about. Metal made me so rich that I wasn't pissed enough to make metal songs anymore.
I mean, because you look at, like, bands, like a lot of bands, they'll take, like, 5-6 years off to make an album. That's not because they're, like, going through some kind of artistic movement or any of that kind of other kind of stuff. It's because they're rich. I mean, besides the ones that have to take a few years off because they're poor. I mean, you know what I mean, but...
Well, what I'm going to do here is I am going to play some more Honor's Way. I'm going to play a song called Sheltered Life. It's about a really stand-up guy named Peter O'Neill. I mean, wasn't he a great guy? He deserves a song, doesn't he? Is that guy still alive? Do you have any idea?
You know what? I don't know. His dad just passed away a few years ago.
Is he on your Facebook? Do you play friggin' Jewel Heist or whatever with him every day?
Yeah, him and I are Candy Crush buddies. No, I haven't talked to that. I haven't talked to that guy in easily 12, 13 years.
All right, well, I just wanted to set the backdrop for this because I know maybe someone here you're hating on somebody, but I mean, this guy was really a fucking piece of shit. Not a piece of shit as much as Nugent, and my challenge is still out there if you're listening, Ted. I haven't rescinded that, so anytime you want to meet me in the ring, pal, I am open for business on that end. But yeah, Peter O'Neill sucked, and this is a song about how bad Peter O'Neill sucks. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Here comes Sheltered Life by Honor's Way. Yeah. All righty. That was an homage to the great Peter O'Neill, wherever he may be today. You still on the line with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
All righty. Let's talk about what you're doing now. I know you wanted to talk about a couple projects you got going on. So let's let the world hear about them.
Yeah, I got a YouTube channel going now that, you know, I do, like, as for a living, like, I buy and sell collectibles and, like, antique stuff and that kind of stuff. So, like, I started doing some videos about, like, some of, like, the stuff that we found and, or, you know, like, that kind of stuff. But, like, I have, like, this ridiculously large collection of 80s metal. And, like, some of them are, like, absolutely hilarious. So, like, I don't know. Plus, I wanted people to know about, like, the metal that was around when I grew up. Because, I mean, a lot of people, like, they're like, oh, man, the metal when I was a kid was so badass. But, I mean, you got to admit, there was a lot of bad bands, too. So, I just thought it'd be funny, you know, to show, like, some of the old albums, like, that kind of stuff. But in the studio, like, I haven't been in the studio in a few months, but I'm just trying to, I have this thing where I've been taking old albums, like old horror albums and, like, that kind of stuff, and then taking tracks from, like death metal songs and, like, that kind of stuff and looping it in and, like, intertwining them together. And, like, so far.
Right on. So when do we get to hear some of that?
Well, I have a couple of videos already up on my YouTube channel. It's Honors Way Productions.
And you'll post that on my Facebook for everybody, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the first
all right,
one
so
I did,
all-time worst metal band. I'm going to go with Helix.
all-time worst metal band. Wow.
Helix or Grim Reaper. Those guys are pretty freaking close.
Dude, no, I'm sorry. That See You in Hell, my friend, when they're doing that whole video, like when they're in the prison. Wasn't that the one? The Grim Reaper, that's the guy that was, like, looked like Nacho Libre, right?
Mm-hmm.
The lead singer. He kind of looked like Nacho Libre. But, shoot, I don't know, the worst metal band.
And they had the worst song, man. I think they had the worst song I've ever heard in my life. It was a song called Suck It and See. And it was just about the glories of his penis and how sucking it will make you see the light. It was an amazingly horrible song. But, I mean, it's one of those songs that are so fucking horrible you have to listen to it. I mean, I've actually got it on one of my mix CDs. I have to be in a really, like, self-destructive mood to listen to it.
How about any metal band that basically had played at Wilmer's Park?
Which one is that?
I mean, the local one. What was the one called? What was the one that
it was Who is God?
No, man, the one. Dude, who was the dude that had the bass player? And he'd flip his bass over and there was a mirror on it?
Oh, yeah, I don't know if they ever played Williams Park, though. What the hell was that kid's name? I remember Aaron Watson was in that band. And I can't remember that guy's name. Rickett? Was it like Jason Ricketts or something?
I don't remember. That's why I was relying on you. I just remember the show. I'm pretty sure that was at Wilmer's Park. It wasn't like not Steel Dragon or, I don't know, Tempered. I don't remember
you
what
talking about Tempered Steel?
That could be.
Yeah, you know,
one
of those guys, Jay Yeomans.
Who?
Yeah, Jay Yeomans. I know his brother Eric was in that band, but Jay Yeomans, he got murdered. He got shot by the same people who did that, like, Starbucks murder in D.C. like 10 years ago. He got shot right around that same time.
Yeah, that's pretty messed up.
But I always thought Tempered Steel was actually pretty decent. They used to practice in a storage spot. I used to go watch my stepsister's boyfriend's band play Crash Course. Those were the days. So do you have anything else going on?
No, not right now. That's about it. That's about as far as my music stuff's going. I mean, I'm always looking to do other different projects like videos and stuff. I like doing the video editing and stuff. I've been working with that stuff, but maybe I'll go back to school and get a degree in it or something.
Any chance of another crap reunion?
Yeah. If we all live another 10 years.
Oh, I think Pickle will be around. I just want to say this show is an homage to Pickle. I wish he could have been on the show today. I actually want to play something off the Even Steven album. I know it's not an Even Steven show, but we are talking about Pickle, and Pickle will always be one of my favorite people. We're going to play a track from the Even Steven album. It is actually a crank phone call we made to Pickle. He had no idea it was us. It was my singer calling him. And then we had about a 30-second song called Pickle, which was about Pickle. And we called him from the studio, drunk, snowed in. It was awesome. You want to hear some Pickle?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here comes Pickle, prank call, followed by the Pickle song.
Hello?
Yes, I speak to Pickle.
This is him?
Pickle, it's Ralph. Sorry, I was busy. I'm from the gold mine. Do you remember me?
No.
The other night? With your, I remember your long hair, okay, and you were kind of stroking my back. Do you remember?
No.
You know.
No.
I mean, you were kind of drunk, but you gave me your number, and you said to call you.
Who are you?
It's Ralph from the gold mine.
Don't know you.
You don't know me.
No.
Ralph, I'm kind of upset about that. You don't.
This is a joke, right?
Ralph, no, it's not a joke.
This is a joke. Who the hell is this?
It's Ralph.
I don't know you, Ralph.
Pickle, I can't believe this. You told me all. Pickle.
Who the fuck is this?
Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this, Pickle?
This is a fucking joke, dude.
Pickle, don't fuck with me, okay?
Don't
fuck with me.
No, fuck with you. Who are you?
Pickle!
Who the fuck is this?
Pickle! Don't do this, Pickle.
I don't even know who the hell you are.
Don't do this. My mother's here.
Who is your mother?
Don't do this. I told her all about you.
Who?
Pickle.
Oh,
I told her all about you. I can't believe you're doing this. I can't believe you know who the hell this guy is. No, Mother. No. Pickle.
What night? What last time I was in the gold mine?
What?
The last time I was in the gold mine. What night was this?
I don't remember. It was so long ago. But you gave me your number, and I've been talking about you to my mother so long. I gotta go. You really pissed me off. Bye.
And there we have it, Pickle. I miss Pickle. My favorite, one of my favorite Pickle moments, he used to get so fucked up when playing drums, he would put a bucket next to him, and he would vomit while playing drums and not miss a beat.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when he played drums on the Udder crap tracks, he was hammered.
You think?
Yeah, I think.
What's your favorite Pickle story?
Let's see. There's tons of them. A lot of late night at Denny's.
Oh, yeah. I could probably tell some Denny's stories, but they wouldn't be appropriate. I don't know how much I could get away with on this show.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to
Plus,
think
I
of
told some of them, fucking Denny's might sue me if I let out some of the shit that used to go on there.
It's kind of, I don't know, I'm trying to think of some experiences with Pickle, from especially back in the day, but I think most of them involved drugs in one form or another.
Indeed.
But I don't know, I have to admit, that was a lot of fun, going into Denny's all blitzed out of your mind. And Pickle was just one of those people that, I mean, he was always great to, like, you know, party with or that kind of, man, he would just make you laugh. Okay, how about the party at Patrick's house?
Which one?
Remember that one? When Pickle rolled himself up in that blanket and he was telling everybody he was a worm?
Oh, yeah. People, I don't want to tell that story. That might piss Pat off about his house.
Oh. Yeah,
but, yeah.
Yeah, because they said, hey, tie the house down, I'll be right back. Everybody tied. They had that big thing. I don't know why he had it. He just had like a big string of yarn in the middle of the living room. Yeah,
I think it would have been one of the greatest rock and roll moments in history if Udder Crap would have made it. And I'm talking prime time. I'm talking like pushing like Taylor Swift numbers. 13-year-old girls with other crap shirts. That's the America I want to live in. An America where 13-year-old rich girls have a picture of Pickle vomiting on their shirt.
Yeah. That'd be pretty awesome.
That's the vision that I have for our America. All right, well, I've got another track by Udder Crap here. If anybody wants to call in, we've got about 18 minutes left. The call-in number is 646-478-3554. If you have any good on our way Udder Crap stories you want to talk about or just have any questions for Andy, let's play some more Udder Crap. I'm not sure if it's just a production of these songs or what the problem is, why today the songs are coming out kind of distorted. I'm messing around with the equalizer here, so I'll play track 13, Udder Crap. All right. Was that a song about corn dogs, too?
I have no idea. I don't remember. That was Pickle, actually. Pickle on vocals, Chris on guitar. I played drums. I think Rob played bass. And I don't know why. I don't remember why it's called track 13.
That's just the track that it's on my CD.
Oh, I was going to say either that or it was how many beers we all had by then.
Right. So let me ask you, you guys get back together for some reason. You guys end up in the same place, same time, put the music together. Does age play any different? Can you guys still have the same chemistry and still drink a bunch of beers and pull that off? Or is that moment gone, never to return?
Well, I mean, it's not like Udder Crap's like Mozart, so I wouldn't think like the chemistry would be that hard. Everything that we did in that studio was like made up on the spot. Like, I mean, there was no practice.
That's what's so impressive about it.
Well, I mean, it was a bunch of guys. Like, I love playing music, but I don't consider myself a very great musician. But being surrounded by guys that, especially like Pat and Pickle, who have they have great vocals for death metal, and they have really funny ideas about lyrics and that kind of stuff. Because a lot of it, it's like a lot of it's meant to be taken like a joke. You know what I mean? But as far as now, like I wouldn't see any problem how it would be hard to do that again because you're surrounded yourselves with people that are talented at whatever aspect they're at. So I wouldn't see why it would be hard. I think a lot of bands, the reason they have that problem is, to like a clash of egos. But
so 10 years ago, you guys put together a 10-song set. You actually have 10 actual songs you know how to play, and they're Udder Crap songs. You go and play a show with Napalm Death. Booed off stage, or would people get it?
Oh man. Well, I guess if you listen to like Dillinger or Escape Plan, you like those kind, then I guess they probably get it.
Right on. I remember
Dave
Dave Litz used to be in a pretty good band that did a lot of crazy shit called The Lost, and I used to actually dig those guys.
Yeah. Are they DC?
But I don't know if you could stick, I don't know, like I find a lot of those Napalm Death, like a lot of those death metal guys, especially guys who are real serious about death metal. I guess Napalm Death's more grindcore. But once you get into like the Entombed and Cannibal Corpse and bands like that, a lot of those guys are really kind of elitist about their music. And I think if Udder Crap tried to open up for Cannibal Corpse, they'd probably get their asses kicked. But those guys are just like so serious. They take that shit so serious. And I don't think music's meant to be taken seriously. At least I don't take it. I mean, I definitely dig the message. Like, you don't live your life by song lyrics.
Well, I guess some bands take it pretty serious. Like when we went to a show like it was in DC. When I think it was Machine Head was playing, Napalm Death, the Obituary. I think it was like called Return of the Fourth Reich Tour or something. I don't remember. It was like 92, 93, something like that. But Brian and a bunch of us. Man, I wish I could remember most of those guys' names. A lot of them were like DC Unity Skins and that kind of stuff. Well, Machine Head was on there, and I guess, I don't know, we didn't like them. Like, we were there to see the other ones. I think this was at Black Cat. Yeah, this was at the Black Cat. And we didn't really care for them, so we started all chanting Skinhead real loud. And the Metalhead guys were, like, getting really pissed. And all I remember is there was this black guy that was, I guess because he thought we were all racist, but I always thought that was hilarious because most of the time we went with somebody that was, black or, I mean, most people know who are in D.C., they know Lefty, so I mean, it's like, I don't know, sometimes it gets a little skewed. But anyways, Machine Head, the drummer, came out and was like, well, where I come from, we don't have tunnel vision. And like, people started kind of booing him. But that was kind of funny to rile up Machine Head. I guess that was when they first started. But Harry Canner was there with me. And I remember walking out the door, and the lead singer of Machine Head was sitting by the door. And some guy goes, good show. And then Harry goes, yeah, good show, you fucking redneck. That dude, it was pretty funny.
Now, do you think any kind of music, racist music, like a Nazi skinhead band, do you think anybody could pull that off today? With this political correctness, is it even possible for a band like Screwdriver to reform?
Well, I mean, no. I mean, Screwdriver didn't even make it big either. I mean, they might have made it.
But could they get away with even getting to a show without getting their ass kicked?
Well, I mean, there's lots of white pride, like those kind of bands. There's still lots of them out there. I mean, it's just
really
not. Well, sure. I'm sure you could probably easily do a Google search in 5 minutes. You'd probably have 50 white power bands. I mean, people that live in really, especially like some of the areas you live and that kind of stuff, it's kind of common. I mean, it's just because, it's like, Facebook, I mean, it's kind of like somebody will be like, oh, man, you suck on Facebook. And then you're like on the phone, you're like, hey, man, what would you mean by that? And they're like, oh, nothing. It's okay. Nothing. Don't worry about it. I mean, it's kind of like the same situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I don't see any kind of Nazi or racist band getting the traction that even a band like Screwdriver got 20 years ago. I don't think that's possible.
Well, Screwdriver got the attention they got was mainly, in my opinion, was just because it was something for an angry white suburban kid to have. Like, you didn't necessarily have to be racist, but it was just something like, I mean, the guys that I knew that had those albums, I mean, even when I was a skinhead, like, they weren't racist, but they had those albums, and I never understood why. And they would always be like, oh, fuck Nazis, but then they wouldn't, that's the only, in my opinion, like, I think in maybe England it might have been kind of big because at the time it was more, they had a lot of workers' rights problems and that kind of stuff, because skinheads wasn't really about, they were more about workmen's rights. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get into a history of that, but...
All right, so we got 8 minutes left to talk a little bit about kind of where music is today. I know we touched on the subject, but any hope? I mean, this culture to me, and once again, crotchety old man, I've earned the right to say this, it's gone to shit. I mean, TV, music, you're just inundated with whores and fart jokes. The music is just all hollow and apathetic and just, I like girls, sort of. My mom took my car keys. Is there any hope? Do we turn a corner, or is this it? Is this our culture now?
Well, I think that like when you're a kid, you're a younger person, you're more optimistic about the future. And then when you get older, you're not as optimistic about the future as you used to be. So things kind of look, a little more bleaker. I think when you were younger, a lot of these bands that we have out now that you'll be like, oh, they fucking suck. You'd probably be like, hey, it's pretty crazy. I mean, like, give an example, like Slipknot. Like, I don't really care for their music, but they have a great shtick. They have a great gimmick. I mean, that's what.
Yeah, but it's a gag that's been recycled from Marilyn Manson. Who recycled it from Blackie Lawless? Who recycled it from Alice Cooper? Who was the only person that did it originally?
Well, yeah. I mean, again, I think that because you have the ability to get your music out there way more than you normally could, people like that. Whenever like a certain genre starts making it big, it's just like glam metal in the '80s. Like all of a sudden, it was like there's Bon Jovi, Cinderella, then boom, there was like a gajillion of them. White Lion. I mean, all these glam bands, and they were being signed like crazy. And that's exactly like today. The newer metal, like that kind of stuff. I mean, if you listen to the context of the lyrics, if you're like wanting some kind of in-depth, song that's going to make you cry like All the Fools Sail Away by like Dio or something, then maybe it's just something never to listen to. I mean,
but not to get overly political, but we also have a situation now where a handful of bands have so much corporate power behind them. There's about 20 bands right now that make 80%. It's just like the 1%. They make 80% of all concert revenue. Like Taylor Swift and Bruno Mars and shit, they make like 80% of the musical pie now that's out there.
Well,
and there's only about 20 of them. And you would have never seen that back then. There's a lot more pie to go around.
Well, yeah. Again, there's a lot more venues and ways to sell your music, too. I mean, the problem is that most bands, it's promotion. I mean, you need promotion. And, I mean, you can buy services. I mean, the studio they had services. I mean, you pay a few $1,000s. I mean, they'll even give you a TV commercial. I mean, you can do that kind of stuff, but ultimately, at the end, you're going to fade away. I mean, a lot of these bands that are coming out now, I mean, before you know it, they're broken up or there's something going on or splitting up or all that kind of stuff because, I mean, a lot of them aren't actually rooted in that music. They're just doing it because it's the thing to do.
Well, I just named the only two bands that I know from the last 10 years that are on the radio. I don't know who the hell plays now. There's a couple underground bands like Introspect I really like, and they're a newer band, or Star Fucking Hipsters I really like, and I don't even think they're together anymore. But 99% of bands that come out in any genre suck now. And, I mean, they don't even put out punk anymore. I mean, like, none of the punk bands, they release albums like every 8 years or something.
Yeah.
Well, so it's just kind of really a sad situation.
Well, a lot of it is the people that grew up with that kind of music when it was first started and stuff, are all either married and have a bunch of kids or, I mean, they have other stuff that, you can't. When we were younger, you could go to a show every weekend, and you have like two
We
kids.
saw DRI in 2003, and they said that they were getting ready to release their new album, and that album still hasn't fucking come out. And that was 10 years ago.
Didn't they go through like lineup change or something? I don't know.
I have
They just
no
played
idea.
here not that. They just played here not that long ago.
And that's another thing. I don't understand what happens when people get older. I mean, I went to go see Dio, and I love Dio, but I went to go see them. I think you went with me, Scorpions and Deep Purple at that outside show. And it was like a fucking time capsule. It was like they followed these guys out, same outfit. I knew every song. I hadn't listened to a Dio album in 15 years, and I knew every song. You know, hello, Norfolk, you ready for what? Like a hurricane? And, you know, Scorpion Stick, that guy goes on, and I knew every song. And I was like, how can you do this for 15 years, play the same 8 songs all over the world, over and over again, and not write nothing new? I don't understand how these cats do it.
Well, because it's, in my opinion, like, I don't know, being on stage is like a drug.
Well, why not write new material? The Fear still tours on 2 albums. They've been touring for 30 years on 2 albums.
Yeah, but what do they have, like just one original member?
Yeah, but I mean, you'd think they would want to write something new after they played the same, like, 10 songs 6 billion times.
Because,
you
well, okay, I hear what you're saying, and I get that, but I've been to concerts before. Like, we won tickets here, like, I think it was like 2 years ago to see the Doobie Brothers. And, like, I was like, cool, man. I had some of their songs when I was a kid, you know, hear them on the radio and that kind of stuff. So we went to go see. They didn't play anything. They played all their new stuff, and it sucked, dude. It sucked. And because of that, I will never go to another Doobie Brother concert again.
Yeah, can't you mix it up? I mean, can't you play, like, I mean, Alice Cooper still plays, and he plays half old stuff, half new stuff.
Well, I mean, I know, but again, a lot of these, again, I know it sucks, but it's human nature. It seems that they don't want to hear the new stuff because when like the nostalgia about it, you don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear like I don't know when we went.
Dude,
to
if you're
Poison,
Dio and you're on tour with Scorpions, and everybody wants to hear the first 3 Scorpion albums, and everybody wants to hear the first 3 Dio albums. And we're getting ready to go off air. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Andy, stay with me. This will run into the archives. Listen to us on the archives if you didn't get a chance to catch the whole show. This will be going off live, but I do want to finish up with Andy. So you're on tour. You're the Scorpions. You're on tour with Dio. You guys, everybody's there to hear 10 songs from each band. Why don't they play each other's song? You know how awesome it would be if fucking Dio came out and played Scorpion's set? Just to mix it up? You know, Dio was like, all right, I'm going to rock you like a hurricane. Yeah, and did all the fucking Dio hand gestures and shit. I mean, especially all these old guys there, like probably taking acid for the first time in 20 years. Think how bad that would fuck you up to go to a Dio concert and watch him singing Scorpion songs. But are you going to care? You got the 10 songs you wanted, and then the Scorpions could come out and do 10 Dio songs. Do something. Mix it up. You know, dress like a fucking boy band. If you're going to sing the same 10 songs, come out there looking like NSYNC. Fucking do something, man, to mix things up. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's like borderline metal blasphemy to have somebody else want to do Dio songs. I'd rather hear from Dio.
I mean,
I understand
what can
exactly
guys
what you're
do?
saying. But, I mean, really, honestly, can you remember ever going to a show and you're going to a show to see a band that you remember from, like, when you were a young kid or whatever, or that you grew up with and that kind of stuff, and they come out and they're like, all right, this is from our new album, and the next 10 songs are from their new album. And you're like, what the? I mean, well, I can't think of one time that I've been to one and be like, oh, right, this new stuff is awesome. It's usually like it's horrible. And it's just because,
I thought that when I went to see Sublime, and they played their new stuff, and I'm glad because the guy, Brad Noel died like 3 weeks later, and they never got to tour on that new album. You know, that album came out after he died, or shortly, like right before he died, and I got to see Sublime at Capitol Ballroom right before he died, and I remember like hearing songs. This song, Pawn Shop, is going to be on the new album, and them playing a few new songs, and I was like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. And I would have never got to see those songs live had he not had the guts to get out there and say, we're going to play a couple new things. We're not just going to play friggin' Date Rape 7 times.
Well,
we're going to get out here and play some shit you don't know.
Well, again, the problem is that most bands don't do that. See, that was a perfect formula. That's probably because from years and years of touring, they know what they're doing. But, when you were used to playing arenas and that kind of stuff, I don't know. You got to make money off a new album. I mean, how many people are like, oh my God, I can't wait to go out and buy the old Deep Purple album?
But maybe if they promoted it right, people would be like that.
Yeah, maybe if they brought back David Coverdale.
I mean, I would get excited if a band that I was really into. I mean, Alice Cooper, he came out with Brutal Planet like 10 years ago, and that album was fucking awesome. And everything he's done afterwards. I mean, the new one, the Vengeance album or whatever, has a couple good songs. But, I mean, Alice Cooper, he reinvents himself like every 10 years. He starts to get into this funk and get really, like, formulated, and then he'll just come out with something brand new, like just fucking rip his stage show down, build it up from scratch. I don't know how much you pay attention to Alice Cooper, but, I mean, he's really good at reinventing himself. I mean, you could play stuff from the 60s, that's psychedelic hippie music, straight up like crazy rock and roll metal from the 70s, like Oinga Boinga new wave shit in the 80s, back to like really hard metal in the 90s, back to like White Zombie shit in the early 2000s, then over to like some more glammy, like radio-friendly crap, and then back to like now he's back to doing like really like edgy metal. Why can't other bands do that? Take chances. At 70 years old, a guy is still writing good metal songs. Is that so hard?
Some do. Well, I think some do, but some end up going in different roads. Like they end up going in country or like what was that? That guy Aaron Lewis from Stained. Now he sings country.
Yeah,
and I mean, he knew eventually it was going to. He knew eventually playing just that kind of music was going to fade out.
All right, so last question of the night, and then I'll let you get back to your life.
Okay.
Is there a time when a band should ever just quit because they suck? They had the first 3 albums that are fucking awesome. 4th album, By the 6th album, I mean, you would rather listen to the singer taking a piss than the actual songs. Should they ever cash out and quit and say, you know what, we're done, we suck? Or should they just keep going? Should it be for them? Hey, dude, I think this stuff's good, even if the rest of the world thinks it sucks. Do they have any obligation to their fan, or is it all about them and their egos?
Well, I mean, the music, I guess it matters what you got into music for in the first place. If you got into it for money, then yeah, after your albums, you're obviously making stuff that people just want to hear at the time, whatever the fad is, so you're going to eventually fade off into obscurity, but people that constantly reinvent themselves, I applaud those, and I hope that they keep going. But, again, I think sometimes, it would be hard to tell a musician to say, hey, man, you're delusional, your stuff sucks. Because most people, especially me being a musician, you're an artist in a sense. So it'd be like, I guess in a way, if you're telling somebody to call it quits, they'd probably be like telling Da Vinci his paintings suck or something, So,
I mean, I wouldn't be in a band now because I don't think I have enough of the edge. I'm too domesticated. What the fuck am I going to sing about? Doing laundry?
Well, see, that's exactly why I went into production.
That's why we're old enough now where all we can do is stuff like this, do a radio show, reminisce, get on and bitch about politics or reminisce about bands and try to get it out there for the generation and be like, hey, man, check out this shit. I mean, I think everyone should hear Honor's Way. I think everybody should hear Dionic. I think everybody should hear Kid Dynamite turned into Onus. I think everybody should hear Even Steven. I think everybody should hear these bands and kind of understand where music is now and where it was then. Everybody should also hear 7 Seconds.
Yeah.
Because that's a great band.
Hey, did you ever get to hear Odell's one band called The Fallen Ones?
Yeah, I've got a couple of their CDs and stuff.
Dude, I definitely played some of their stuff. That was pretty good. I've only seen them once, but I was pretty impressed.
Yeah, I'll have to have them on the show. There's so many people that I want to have. I really want to get Al Pist from the Pist on the show. Like, I want to start getting people that I don't personally know on the show. That's my next goal.
Right on.
So anybody listening to the archive Sunday, I will be on talking about, is America's decline imminent? Are we just done? Or can we rebound like we did after the Civil War and the Great Depression? Anyways, I want to thanks for having me on the show, bro. You going to come back sometime?
You betcha.
All right, man. We'll put that link on my wall for your YouTube, and I'll promote you, and you promote, today's episode on your end, and everything will be peachy. All right,
Cool,
man. Thanks for calling in. I'll talk to you later, bro.
Later.
Bye.